Hello everyone and welcome to Our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. On today's show, we'd like to welcome our newly appointed City of Ventura Police Chief, David Dickey. He has served with the department since 1997 and has risen through the ranks as Chief of Police. Chief Dickey, congratulations on your new position and thank you for joining us today.
It is my pleasure
Very
to
good.
be here. Thank you.
Very good. Tell us about yourself and why you chose to serve here in Ventura.
So I am a product of Ventura County. I was born and raised here all 51 years.
Oh, wonderful.
Just recently celebrated my 51st birthday. Born and raised, lived in Oxnard most of my life, but spent most of my childhood here in Ventura. We went to church here. My best friend lived here up off of Ventura Avenue. And then my dad and my brother and I were what we like to think is prolific fishermen. We used to spend a lot of time in Ventura Harbor, and that's where we launched the small boat that we had. So this community was home to me. It has been home to me for a long time. And when I got into police work, I had a couple stops before I came here, but in 1997 when I came here, this place felt like home, and it has ever since.
So you've stayed on the whole time. Yeah.
I have. It's been right at 30 years right now in my career, and almost all of that has been here in the city of Ventura.
Very good. How has that history shaped your vision as the new Chief of Police?
So I think probably the thing I have to talk about from a vision standpoint for a leader taking over an organization is I'm blessed. This organization is home to me. I'm very people-centered, and we're very much a healthy, well-balanced organization. We're completely fully staffed at this point, which is really unusual for a police department in today's environment. And the history that shaped me here is, I said this when I got sworn in, but I stand on kind of the shoulders of giants. There are men and women that shaped my career, that led me, mentored me, coached me, and taught me. They had the tough conversations, but they cared enough to engage with me. And the vision I have is to kind of pay that forward. I'm very much focused on the internal culture at the police department as part of the vision that I have. I really believe that a healthy, well-balanced officer or professional staff employee, dispatcher, or records person, if they're healthy and well-balanced and feel cared for, they're going to provide a high level of service to the community. And so I think that internal focus is really important.
You started when you were in high school in a program.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So back when I got into policing, that was back a few days ago. It was in 1994. No one was hiring. Back then there was a real budget crunch across the nation, and so if you wanted to get into policing, you had to get lucky, and they were only hiring a few people a year at departments our size, where now we are hiring 10, 20 people a year at sometimes. Back then, 1 or 2 people a year at a department this size, so in order to get hired, you had to self-sponsor through a police academy. So at the time I started the pre-academy, I self-sponsored through an academy up in Visalia. I had some family that lived nearby, so it was cost efficient for me to live with them. Put myself through the academy with some help and support from my parents. And a few weeks after the academy, I got recruited back to work there in a high school as a narcotics detective, so kind of what we call the 21 Jump Street program. And I did that for almost a full year up there. I worked in the schools, and we weren't focused on juvenile offenders, we were focused on the people that were supplying drugs to kids. And it was a really successful program, and I learned a lot.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
What are some of the big picture goals that you're hoping to tackle and achieve now in your first year as Chief of Police?
So the first thing I have to do is with the vacancies that are created from me, so I promoted up, so there's some vacancies within my command staff positions. So the way that we're structured, there's a chief, there's assistant chief, and then there's commander positions. So that's what we call command staff. They're the ones that are the managers of the department. I'm really focused on filling those positions in the coming weeks and months. We also are going to have some pretty in-depth promotional processes for supervisor, which is sergeant and corporal as well. So that's going to be my first focus, to kind of stabilize staff so that we can help come together and kind of create a shared vision for the department. And that shared vision is the second part of the big push this first year, and that's going to be reworking our strategic plan. We typically do those for about 3-year cycles, sometimes 4, but typically 3. We're expired right now from our last one. And that's going to be a big push with me and the command staff. a lot of community engagement on that. I mean, we really are interested in what the community feels are the priorities, and then we'll turn that over to the kind of internal experts at our department and get a lot of buy-in from our people at all levels about how we can accomplish those goals that we articulate and receive from the community. We really want to do a really deep dive into the community with all of the various aspects so that the entire community is represented in that strategic plan process.
Now, you mentioned your staff, the team of officers. How big is the staff that you have now?
So currently we have 141 officer positions,
Okay.
And a total of about 191 total full-time employees. So
okay.
that's professional staff on top of that, so about 50 professional staff. With part-time and some of our cadet positions, we're up in probably the low 200s. It just depends on what our staffing levels are at that given moment, but right now we're about 230 total. For our command staff, so there's the way that we call it our rank structure is there's a chief, there's 2 assistant chief positions, and 5 commanders. And so those upper level command staff positions provide management oversight for the entire organization.
And how did the role of police chief come to you?
Ooh, so I'm pretty open about that. I'm looking back now, and I don't think there was ever a point in my career where I was like, I want to be the chief.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
I think
gosh.
maybe a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, as an
Okay.
assistant chief working with our former chief, Darren Schindler, I think that's when I first had the idea that, hey, this is something that I'm interested in. And with some mentoring from him and some of the people that were former chiefs like Pat Miller, Mike Tracy, and Ken Corney that I worked for all these years, with some of their mentoring and kind of guidance, I felt like, hey, why not try this out? I have some ideas about the direction of the department, a kind of a shared vision, and here we are.
So mentoring is an important factor for you.
Oh, I think it's critically important for the success and health of a police organization. If you have someone that in leadership that you work for that cares about you enough to take time out of their day, their busy schedules, to coach, mentor, train, you have to take advantage of that. And I did, and I really want to try to formalize that process as part of our strategic plan moving forward. So.
Okay. On a personal note, what is something maybe unexpected or might surprise people about you?
Well, from a professional standpoint, we talked about it. I did start my career in one of the most unique assignments that you could ever start in, which was the 21 Jump Street program.
Okay.
But beyond that, I'm actually just a very simple person.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have, this is a very outgoing public position that I'm in now, but I have a very core small group of friends. So my brother, this is probably the most interesting thing. So my dad and mom, my dad passed away about 10 years ago. My mom still lives here locally. Really rough upbringings. They were from the Kern County area. My mom came out here from Iowa as a farming family, but my dad had a really rough upbringing, and one that you wouldn't expect, where he would have 2 sons who end up in policing.
Wow.
So my brother, who again is my lifelong best friend, he's a deputy here locally. He's been doing it now for a little bit less than I have, in the mid-20s, about 24 years, I believe. And then my best friend, who was also my brother's best friend growing up, who was from here in Ventura, he's also in policing.
Wonderful.
So it was kind of a, none of us.
A family affair.
Yeah, it's just it's weird how that happened over time, but we all ended up in the profession that we love, and we've been doing it for well over 2 decades at this point.
That's good. And how does your family feel about this?
Interesting. So super supportive. I'm pretty open about my personal life. I've been married for 27 years.
Okay.
My wife has been a rock star for me. She's the support behind me.
Right.
I don't know how you do this job for as long as I have without that type of support. Clearly, my other family, my brother, my mom, still here local. My in-laws, there's a ton of support around us, and all the years of shift work and the various assignments and the long days and the
hours,
they have been amazingly supportive. I have 2 adult children who are finishing up college right now, and amazingly supportive. I always say that this has been an amazing run in my career, but the 2 best decisions I ever made were to be a husband and a father, and this is a very close third to those.
Very good. What would residents know about staying informed about public safety here? More about, what would go on for public safety.
So it's interesting you bring that up. There's a variety of ways that we engage with the community. That's a huge part of what we do. So part of community policing is you're really giving the community access to us and us engaging with the community. So interesting thing here is, as a police department, about every 3 days we hold some sort of community event. That's actually in person. We have community councils in the different districts that we're a part of. That's a great way to get involved. We have a neighborhood watch program that folks can find out about by going to our website or online. That's another amazing opportunity. We have Coffee with a Cop that we do quarterly here in the city, and we're looking for some other ways to expand that as well. Those are in-person events. But a really big thing that we're really utilizing more and more, especially in the last few years, has been our social media platforms and our website. A lot of information on Instagram for the Ventura Police Department, a lot of information on Facebook as well for Ventura Police Department, and then our website is literally one of the most robust police websites you'll see.
And definitely mention that. Let's hear the website.
Yeah, so the police department's website is you can just go to thecityofventura.org and there's a link on there. We'll take you there. You can do everything from connect with us directly with messages to crime prevention techniques, emergency services information. There's things on there about e-bikes. You can file reports. I mean, it is very robust. You can find all about our district commander program, which is another really good way to engage with us as well.
In closing, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge right now?
I think for the city of Ventura, I think we need to continue with the community engagement as part of this strategic planning process to where we literally give everybody across the entire community, even the niche places that maybe we haven't been able to reach in the past, an opportunity to weigh in on what they feel is important from a public safety standpoint, and then give us an opportunity to create strategies that we can implement moving forward that can be measured for success, or if we need to adjust, that we can adjust moving forward.
Good. I want to thank you, Chief David Dickey. Your service here in the Ventura community is very appreciated, and I wish you the best in your new role. Again, congratulations. Chief Dickey has a good ring to it. That's good.
Thank you very much. It's been a great 3-week ride so far. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you again for sharing more about the police department and, of course, what you plan to do in your new role.
Thank you very much.
Very good. And to all of you, thank you very much for joining us here on Our Ventura TV. We welcome you to join us again next time. Thank you so much. I'm Sandra Siepak. Bye, everyone.